Now I'm very happy and pleased to welcome our second speaker. It's Jürgen Krahé. He is the Senior Commercial Director EMEA of ORBIS Europe. He will present 3 case studies on safety in battery transportation and storage. And you can see that I have this little iPad here, so there's the chance to ask questions to Jürgen. Please start to do so immediately as soon as he will have started his presentation, because at the end we will maybe have 3 to 5 minutes to ask and answer for Jürgen the questions that have the most votes that you will have given to these. So, Jürgen, first of all, the stage is yours, please.
Thank you very much, Matthias, for this very kind introduction. Yeah, good morning, ladies and gentlemen in Berlin. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen outside, wherever you are, in your home offices or in your offices around the globe. It's a pleasure to be here in Berlin, particularly during this upcoming, again, strange pandemic situations. Who knows what will happen next couple of weeks. So I'm very thankful and glad to be part of this very nice event today. Let me take you through in the next couple of minutes, just briefly who we are, ORBIS, and what we are doing. And then this is the topic of my short presentation, how we are doing. I have 3 case practice for you, just to show around something which is just accompanying the, let's say, the transformation we have in electrification. And last but not least, I would like to show you, which is important too, how we do support circular economy, as electrification is obviously driven by the CO2 targets we all have in the next couple of years. A quick overview: who is ORBIS? ORBIS is part of Menasha Corporation. It's a US-based company, family-owned, since 150 years and more, doing packaging. The brand ORBIS was founded 25 years ago. This year is our anniversary. And it was from the very beginning with this green corporate identity, because innovation and durability are 2 key drivers for our strategic milestones. And innovation and durability and sustainability is since 25 years are the 3 mainstreams of our company. We are in the US and in Canada and in Mexico. We have subsidiary in Europe since 2016, 13 own production locations around the globe. Our target since 2016 in Europe was to look for different industries. We start in automotive, at OEMs and tier 1s, and could, since 2.5 years, position ourselves as a supplier for packaging for battery transportation. Battery transportation is driven, as you know, by the UN regulations. And we do necessarily divide into 5 different categories. And for the moment, plastic packaging, like ORBIS is doing, is suitable for all kind of flows, for all kind of packaging, with only one exception, which is the transport of dangerous explosive batteries, where for the moment no plastic solution is suitable. But we are working on something in the near future to cover this topic as well. How do we handle packaging? So generally, we are listening to our customers, and they typically ask us for a one supplier strategy. So please give us, ORBIS, everything from one hand. That means not only the outside packaging, which are typically bulk bin containers, could be pallets with covers as well, you will see in a minute, but as well the internal dunnage, which is customized, and not to forget the overall certification of the packaging are very important topics beside all the project management we need to deliver to our customer. How do we do that? Let me take you through to 3 basic examples. The first one is related to these round cells, where we can find in many applications in B2B, but as well in the B2C business. And here we are talking about the transportation of these battery cells to the OEM. So we have a standard packaging to reduce cost. We are trying to reduce as much as possible standard packaging solutions, which is a HDB 1210 you see here, which is available in different heights. This one is a small one, depending on the base. If you have free runners or if you have a full runner solution, it's 7032 or 75 centimeters high. So this is the outside dimension. This bin has a load capacity up to 900 kilogram. In theory, of course, with the UN certification, only a load capacity of 400 kilogram maximum are allowed. The internal dunnage, what you see here, is very specific, and this is, in this case, out of EPP. The little battery cell is 50% in the bottom and 50% covered by the top. It's always safe. It is clean. Dust is taken away, so no contamination is possible with this kind of dunnage during the transportation, during the loading and the decanting processes. What is very important, the automation of the loading and the taking out of the batteries. And this solution, and this is mandatory for all kind of projects, that we do involve all these companies, the suppliers for the robots as well, at a very early stage. They can become handled fully automatically. That means that the cover can be picked up by a robot, any different inlay and every battery cell itself. And this can be done individually, or they can become picked up row by row in any cases. And as well, if the whole solution is empty, it can become assembled as well by the robot in the same way. More or less very similar is the business case with prismatic cells. It is important for both cases, the round cells and prismatic cells, that there is no pressure from the upper layer to the lower. So we have, in the dunnage, we have some particular solutions that they can fit to each other. They really stick to each other, so they cannot move, even if they drop down, of course, which is part of the certification process. But we make sure with the dunnage construction that any kind of pressure from any angle to a different battery cell is completely avoided, 100%. For these prismatic cells, it's the same situation. It can be handled fully automatically by robots in any cases. Another particular case is when we're talking about large battery solutions. In this case, you see here, we have a HDR container, which is an inch 65, 48, 34, which is roughly about 165 centimeters by 121 and 84, if I'm not wrong. So we have even larger containers. It's the same, let's say, specification, 900 kilogram in theory possible. They can as well stick in static load 5-on-1, or in dynamic load, they can stick to each other in 2-on-1 without any issues. For the moment, we have this solution as a 50H certification, certified up to 511 kilograms, which was just project related because we have only one battery model in there. But for the future, we can even imagine to have a certification for more than 1,000 ton in this carrier, in this large carrier. We are working on this because then we would have more supply chain efficiencies. In this case, in this example, I'm showing you that the housing is manufactured in a different location than the battery module itself. So we have in the supply chain, we have the flow from the plant A to the plant B, and then the complete model with the housing will go to the OEM for further needs. What does it mean? So first of all, just the case, the housing itself is not a dangerous good, of course, so we can just simply put free housing into the inlets you see here, which are done from EPP as well, and they can save into the plant B. And in the plant B, then the one model will become assembled, and then obviously it will be more than 400 kilograms, so it's not possible to put more than not more than one of this into this carrier. But we are using the same carrier and the same inlets as from the first supply chain from plant A to plant B. The advantage of this solution is as well, it can be handled fully automatically. And we have supply chain efficiencies because 1/3 of the bulk bins can become returned to plant A. The rest will go back, including the inlets, of course, and the rest of the bulk bins can go straight away to the battery plant for the next loading purposes. Yeah, all these solutions I've shown you, of course, need to become strapped 2 by 2 with a load of 500 kilogram in addition, which is part of the UN certification process. Only a few comments on the process itself, because it's obviously very complex. A packaging process is already something which takes some time in order to find the right packaging, to find cost achievements, cost reduction achievements in the company, which was always the goal in the last couple of years. Now it's even become more complex because we have many other stakeholders to consider. I mentioned already those ones which are responsible for the automatification of the processes, for instance. So it's very important during the implementation phase to have, not to set up the clear goal as well, but then to understand the supply chains at every single point in order to identify what is the right carrier. And I mentioned earlier in my short presentation, we can use bulk bins, as I have shown in these examples, but as well there might be other solutions, like just taking the pallets and taking a cover and have some dungages in between, which is possible too. It's of course not as robust, it might be not so stackable, but it can work. So it's very important to understand what is the individual need, what is the best solution for economical, but as well for economical reasons at the end. And yeah, after the design freeze, we always produce some pre-production samples, not only for the UN certification, which is necessary with the dedicated UN certification number, but as well to get the approval from our customers at the end before we go into the serial production process. A few words, as announced earlier, what is it about circular economy? Electrification is due to our CO2 targets. And why do we provide these packages? Because the battery amount will pick up in the next couple of years exponential, and as well the return of batteries will be a big topic in the next years. The numbers will explode. For us, it was very important at early stages when we started 2016 in Rome, for instance, to build up the right capacities for these increasing demands in the future. First, we were looking to save energy as much as possible, water, green energy, and to use raw material for our carriers, if these are pallets or bulk bins, as much as possible out of recycled material. We even have some Ocean in Mind project in the US where we have already 2 products which are completely out of plastic, which is coming from the ocean. So that's the first one. Second, durability is one of the key strategies of our products. So we want to make sure that the products can stay as long in the supply chain as possible, because the lifetime is part of sustainability itself. They are repairable. Every part can become replaced very easily by our customers. Very important at the end of the life cycle, at the last topic, we will buy back all the obsolete carriers from our customers. They don't need to recycle. They don't need to take care about disposal, anything. Wherever they are, we will buy them back, provide some money, and we can take all these products back into our product life cycle by recycling the material 100% and use for new products. Just a quick overview. I see we have 2 minutes left. And Matthias, are there any questions from outside, please?
Thank you very much, Jürgen. Indeed, there are questions.
Good.
Because you gave an interesting presentation which raised these. So let's start with the first one by Rudi. Shipment barriers of battery packs limit global export-import business. Will the future battery markets be regionally separated, or can the transport barriers be solved?
What kind of barriers are they talking about? Sorry, I missed this one.
That there are packages which you need to bring from one area of the world to the others, and where there might be different regulations, and it's difficult to do so.
Yeah, that's a very good question. In the moment, we see that a lot of one-way packaging, for instance, is used more in the APAC region. Yeah, and there are some barriers to ship plastic bins, for instance, out of Europe or the US into these kind of regions and around. Because the geographical regulations on disposal and all these things are very different. That would be a topic, so I cannot answer the question because it's more a political decision to be made, that we have on a global base, let's say, some common guidelines how to manage packaging.
Okay, let's wait for the political decisions on this one. Is there an adhesive application implemented, or is is conceivable in the future of packaging? So adhesives, the question.
It is possible. Yeah, to give, due to the time, just saying yes, it is, and it's always customized. Whoever asked the question, feel free to get back to us and to discuss in deep.
Great. What is the minimum lot size of batteries and battery packs where it makes sense to start to work with you?
Yeah, in general, we do ship, we provide as well only a couple of bins. Of course, when we're talking about a customized dunnage, and we have some tooling cost, a serious amount, let's say from, let's say 3 digits would be nice. Of course, the best scale effects, let's say, will start at 4 digits amounts.
And we have 2 seconds for the last question. We're good, almost. Do you only buy back, or do you even recycle the materials, what you've talked about?
Excellent question. Maybe I was not clear enough. Of course, the intention to buy back the material is because we want to use this material back for our production. Particularly in the times, as you know, as well as raw material is very limited. We are facing the same issues. We are buying back a lot of these bins in the moment, back from our customers, to bring them back into as raw material into our production plant, of course, 100%.
Thank you very much, Jürgen, and thank you very much for the very interesting questions.